Thank you. Thank you so much. It's great to be in the Space Coast of Florida, which is the space capital of the world. And we appreciate what's going on here. And there's been remarkable progress over the particularly recent history. And today we have an even, in some respects, stellar announcement. We're excited to announce that Terran Orbital will be investing $300 million in the Space Coast by bringing its commercial spacecraft and constellation facility to Space Florida's launch and landing facility. This will be the largest satellite manufacturing facility in the entire world. The project's expected to create over 2,000 new jobs with an estimated annual wage of $84,000 by the fourth quarter of 2025. The new campus will enable complete satellite manufacturing from the smallest components to the final product. This will mean circuit boards and space vehicles. Satellite manufacturing is an important part of the economy here in the Space Coast, and this really ups the ante. In 2020 alone, 1,200 satellites were launched into space, triple the number of satellites launched in 2019. It's currently estimated that more than 50,000 satellites will be deployed by 2030. If those estimates hold up, we'll end up launching 4 times the number of satellites in the next decade than in the previous 6 decades combined. And so we're excited here with this move, and we know that this will have a hugely positive impact on this area. This builds off a lot of success that we've had here in the Space Coast in recent years. We've had a number of companies from Sierra Space to CAE to Redwire that have brought locations here to the state of Florida, and many, many more on top of that. And I think people know that Florida is a great environment for doing business. This particular is great in the Space Coast. We've got a lot of talented people in the industry, and we've really reached a critical mass. So I think companies realize that they're going to be able to hire good folks. We also, in our education system, have put a premium on preparing people for a variety of forms of employment, but particularly skills and vocational-based education. And as you do more manufacturing in places like the Space Coast, having those skills readily available, particularly as kids are graduating high school or state colleges, is really, really important. So we're going to continue to do that and continue to take the lead on space. But I want to thank Mark Bell for his decision to do this. And I don't think he's going to be disappointed. I think people are going to appreciate. Very few people that end up moving operations to Florida end up regretting it. Most of the time, people really like doing it. And over the last year and a half, we've seen a lot of different things. And I know some businesses told their employees in other states, look, you have a job here. I'm not even going to pay for you. They won't even pay to move if you want to go. And most of them come, and most of the employees don't regret it. And so I think that we're proud of that. We're proud of what we're doing statewide, but particularly in this part of the state. I mean, this is really unique. These are unique opportunities. And I know Frank and his team have worked really hard, and we've seen a lot of tremendous progress. So let's just keep building off that. And today's announcement really is significant. I mean, when you talk about these satellites and what this is going to mean for the Space Coast. So I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited for this great announcement. And I'm also happy to be able to invite up our Lieutenant Governor, who's worked closely with Space Florida, up to make a few comments.
Good morning. Thank you, Governor DeSantis, for being here. It just shows the importance of what we're announcing today, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Thank you all as well, the distinguished guests, our elected officials, our industry leaders. We appreciate you being here. I'd also like to thank Mark Bell of Terran Orbital and our Associate Director of Kennedy Space Center, Ms. Jennifer Coons, for being in attendance. Again, it just shows the importance of partnerships that we've established here with Space Florida. So as Lieutenant Governor and Chair of the Board of Space Florida, it is indeed so exciting to watch how the space industry has reached new heights, and pardon the pun, but certainly how we continue to define our role in space. not just space travel and exploration, but as the governor mentioned, manufacturing, training, readiness. Those are things that we have put a premium on. We have put a priority on making sure that we continue to expand in terms of other aspects related to the space industry. Terran Orbital brings nearly a decade of expertise in nano and microsatellite technologies to the Space Coast. And again, Governor DeSantis and I are committed to making sure that Florida is the world's premier aerospace location. Commercial space exploration here in Florida resulted in $1.5 billion in statewide investments, and Terran Orbital's partnership with the state further solidifies Florida's reputation as the place for space. We've expanded our capacity beyond rockets and launches, and while we are proud to be known as the space launch capital of the world, as I mentioned, we want to ensure that we are keeping with the times, that we're providing opportunities for our students here and throughout every corner of our great state. Our ecosystem continues to expand. As I mentioned, supply chain, manufacturing, logistics, all important resources to our state's economy, and in turn, bringing thousands of high-quality, high-wage jobs. So again, I'm proud of the work our administration has done in this area. I'm proud of the work Space Florida has done. This has been a long time coming, as I mentioned to Mark, and so we're excited to see it come to fruition. It's a dynamic partnership, one that's going to continue to flourish and provide opportunities. And so we know that private industries have a choice when they seek to relocate and bring their business and conduct their business. And I assure you, you are going to be very happy you came to Florida, and we're going to continue to provide great opportunities for your employees and for all your related partnerships. So with that, on behalf of the Space Florida Board of Directors, I thank you, and I'd like to call Mr. Mark Bell up to the stage. I understand that you have a pretty unique, successful life, not just in space and business, but I'll let you tout your credentials as a Tony Award winner. Thank you all again very much.
Great. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, Governor DeSantis, Lieutenant Governor Nunes. Thank you for giving us time today for such a great announcement. I'd also like to thank Representative Thad Altman, Representative Tyler Sirius, Senator Tom Wright, and Linda Weatherman for being here today with us. Today marks a major milestone for Terran Orbital, and for me personally, as a Florida resident, I am thrilled to be writing the next chapter of our company's history right here in my home state. There is no better place I could think of if you had $300 million to invest than investing it right here in the great state of Florida. And at the risk of oversimplifying, the history of space exploration began with huge teams of scientists and engineers building massive space vehicles in which the majority of the effort went into the spacecrafts themselves and the vehicles that launched them. These early satellites were large, heavy, expensive to launch with less computing power than the phone you carry today. That all changed in 1999 when Dr. Jordi Puig-Suari and Bob Twiggs invented the CubeSat, a satellite with computing power of a personal computer that could fit in the palm of your hand. In 2011, Dr. Puig-Suari co-founded Tyvak to focus on commercial applications of nanosatellites. And in 2013, our company, Terran Orbital, acquired Tyvak, creating the world's most innovative satellite company. This satellite became the universally accepted standard for nanosatellites and started the low Earth satellite revolution that we're all going through today. This actual CubeSat will be the very first that we built. We'll be heading to the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. shortly to be put on permanent display. And I invite all of you after to take a selfie with the satellite if you choose. Today, Terran Orbital is the global leader in satellite solutions. We design, we engineer, we manufacture, and we operate satellites for a broad range of customers, helping them leverage space for their commercial challenges and national security needs. To be fair, you've probably never heard of us till today, and that's okay. We're currently listed on billions of dollars of U.S. government programs and growing at an incredible rate. For us, Space Florida is a perfect place to tell the world who we are and why we're going to continue to dominate the small satellite marketplace. The commercially driven space industry continues to grow at an incredibly rapid rate, which requires us to significantly expand our capabilities. I am proud to focus our expansion plans here at Space Florida's launch and landing facility right over at Cape Canaveral. We will be building the world's most extensive satellite assembly facility. Phase 1 alone will be over 660,000 square feet of space. We will bring all aspects of satellite creation, manufacturing, production into one place. We will be able to produce over 1,000 satellites a year here and over 1 million satellite components annually, all at the single location here. We will continue to vertically integrate in order to control our own destiny. We will own our own supply chain, and we will continue to add other companies to our portfolio to enhance products that we make for the future. This facility will represent one of the most advanced satellite manufacturing complexes in the world, serving the civil, commercial, and government needs. We will not only build satellites for our customers, but we will also start building them for ourselves. Our first satellite constellation will be called Predasar. It will be the world's most advanced, software-defined, synthetic aperture radar constellation. There'll be a quiz on that later. Ever notice if you look at Google Earth or Google Maps, you notice you always see the planet on a clear sunny day? It's because traditional imaging can't see through the clouds and can't see at night. With Predasar, you'll be able to take images of the Earth 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's a technological breakthrough which will radically change how we look at our amazing planet. And we have a short video here. I don't know if you can see it, if you'll be able to see it. We're going to try it to kind of explain what Predasar is and what SAR is, to put it in layman's terms.
Under the cover of darkness, oppressors are preparing to launch attacks on military targets and civilian populations across the globe. To stop them, friendly forces need to detect and react within a matter of hours, even minutes. On a barrier reef, an oil tanker crashes and spills millions of barrels of oil into the ecosystem. Time is critical to prevent the spread and begin cleanup. Massive
Knowledge
by governments. A range of global commercial opportunities. With Predasar, we can see anywhere in the world in a matter of minutes. No obstructions, no delays. First responders can pinpoint where help is needed the most. Insurance companies can assess where large-scale damage is most severe. And the military can have unparalleled insight into every move the enemy makes, day or night. Neutralized. With lives and precious resources on the line, the world can no longer afford to stay in the dark. Predasar will be there when the world needs it the most.
And these satellites are going to be manufactured here at our facility at Cape Canaveral. I want to acknowledge the tremendous support we've received from the state, in particular, Space Florida. Lieutenant Governor Nunes, Frank DeBello, and their amazing team's assistance in arranging for the facility and the equipment financing, as well as other economic and workforce aid. The launch and landing facility is a historic location at Kennedy Space Center that is becoming a growing hub for commercial space activity, and we are proud to be part of it. Another reason we chose Florida is the incredible business-friendly environment that you, Governor DeSantis, and the legislature have created in this state, as well as the local economic development assistance, supply chain, and especially the skilled workforce that is here in Florida. For the 2,100 employees that we will be hiring, we envision a 21st century work environment, a workplace unparalleled in technology as well as amenities, a place where people will be excited to go to work every day, with employee-centric facilities unlike that has ever been built before. We're going to put the same creativity and forward thinking we used to build satellites into creating a new and fantastic kind of work environment for our people. We are proud to be joining the growing families of companies that are part of the space community here at Cape Canaveral, including our strategic partner, Lockheed Martin. We will build not only vehicles that will go into orbit, but that will go to the moon, they will go to Mars, into deep space and the stars beyond. We will help protect the national interest and advance science to its highest levels. We will create a place where if you can dream it, we will build it. And finally, I'd like to thank Anthony Previtt, my business partner, one of my best friends for over 30 years. It was Anthony's drive and never-ending dedication to make Space Florida a reality. Tony couldn't be here today. He wanted to ensure a long-standing tradition of him doing all the work and me taking all the credit. But that's not happening today. Thank you, Tony, for everything you've done for us. Thank you, and I'll pass it back to Frank.
Thank you, Mark. And it seems only fitting that one of the key leaders in this commercial space renaissance that I talked about a few minutes ago should himself be a Renaissance man. The broad background that the Lieutenant Governor was referring to, among Mark's business accomplishments in capital formation, he has his own capital companies, started a number of companies which have gone public, but if that were not enough, he's also a successful producer and sponsor of plays, musicals, and movies. And among his credits, Jersey Boys, Rock of Ages, The Wedding Singer, Augusto Sage County, and he's a holder of 2 Tony Awards. So we're proud to have that kind of talent in this area, and we look forward to what you'll be producing in this area as well. Our next speaker represents the Kennedy Space Center, a long-standing partner with the state in attracting and developing a world-leading space industry in Florida. Jennifer Coons is an associate director of the Kennedy Space Center, responsible for ensuring safe and effective execution of the center's technical capabilities. Jennifer?
Thank you, and good morning, and welcome everyone. That is a tough act to follow, and that was before the Tony Awards. So, anyway, for 60 years, Kennedy Space Center has been the nation's premier launching ground for science, technology, and exploration. And while Kennedy's history began serving the government sector, our transformation to America's multi-user spaceport has broadened Kennedy's ability to partner not just with other government agencies, but with commercial industries as well, to achieve our vision of a flourishing commercial economy in low Earth and lunar orbits. Terran Orbital's planned campus will be near what was originally named the Shuttle Landing Facility, a place very dear to a young engineer who grew up in the shuttle program. For almost 3 decades, that facility served as Florida's landing site for space shuttle orbiters returning to Earth. And in fact, 78 of 135 shuttle missions ended at the Kennedy Space Center. 6 years ago, that facility was rechristened as the Launch and Landing Facility. And this name looks to the future, reflecting our spaceport's increased scope of capabilities, as well as NASA's commitment to commercial space. With our commercial partners, Kennedy is again launching not just cargo, but also United States astronauts on American rockets to the International Space Station. And soon we'll be doing that to the moon and beyond. Accomplishments like this are the reason that we celebrate announcements like the one that we're making today. These partnerships are crucial to growth, not just for our spaceport, but for our entire industry. By linking arms with providers such as Terran Orbital, Kennedy is able to provide superior service to our spaceport customers and nation's space economy. On behalf of the Center Director, Janet Petro, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak today and to mark this really exciting occasion. Today we're embracing the future. We are looking forward to the next 60 years, probably will not be here, providing reliable, resilient, and efficient access to space, and that is what we need. And now I would like to turn it back over to Frank DeVello, and thank you for having me with you today.
Acknowledge the partnership that we have both with the Kennedy Space Center as well as the Space Force here. Both federal partners and the FAA have been tremendous partners in allowing us to not only operate effectively, introduce commercial companies into that mix, and to ensure that we have a vibrant future as this renaissance that I referred to continues to take place. I also want to acknowledge 2 other partners that we have in the audience. Our partnership with the Florida Department of Transportation is a stellar one, and they have been a reliable ally in almost everything that we've done to advance and introduce commercial operations into the Cape. I'd also like to acknowledge the strength of partnership that we have with the Economic Development Commission of Florida Space Coast and Linda Weatherman. They have joined us in every major development that we've heard. We've heard that Terran Orbital's presence will provide a world-leading vertically integrated manufacturing capability for end-to-end satellite solutions. And all of the things that Mark described about satellite design, production, launch planning, mission operations, are all aimed at meeting the needs of the most demanding and rapid response mission capability resilience needs of military, civilian, and commercial customers. Several years ago, we briefed the Space Florida board on a conscious strategy by Space Florida to recruit and build a launch-on-demand and satellite-on-demand capability here in our state. This capability was viewed as an essential component to meet the growing needs by industry and government to ensure rapid replenishment and survivability of critical assets and capabilities in orbit. Both commercial operators of constellations as well as those managing assets for national security surveillance and operational needs of our warfighters see this capability for rapid deployment and delivery of challenged or lost assets on orbit as essential. Terran Orbital is a key part of that strategy being implemented. As we look to the future, we note that Terran Orbital has assembled a team and a board that possesses strong industry and national security pedigree and is already building in Florida an employment profile with plans for sustained and trained manufacturing workforce and experience in all of the technical disciplines that we desire to have here. And the selection of Florida for the company's development and manufacturing operations was the result of a carefully considered business decision, and it confirms the commercial and operational advantages of locating future space businesses in Florida. Mark, we look forward to Terran Orbital's success, are thrilled to partner with you, and we welcome the addition of the company's innovations in the art and science of next generation satellite design, development, and manufacturing. Welcome to the community here in Florida. That concludes our program. I want to thank you all for being with us today.
Huge positive news for the state of Florida. $300 million investment, 2,000 jobs with an average pay of about $84,000 a year. The largest manufacturer and producer of satellites in the world. In the world. I thought for sure, man, everybody's going to be excited about this because everybody was excited about Trump's Space Force. But of course, as we can see down in the comments, I've had to remove probably 20. People will find a way to feel negative about anything. I guarantee if this had been Trump out there, there would have been no negative comments at all. That's what a cult does. Seriously, it's one of the most disappointing things about being a YouTuber, I'll be very honest. And I hate to sound like on a sour note, but this was great news today. This was fantastic news. While the doddering old fool up in D.C. is completely collapsed and is just literally drowning in one scandal after another, and even his own base has abandoned him, we're moving forward as our own independent republic. And there's so much to be happy about, so much to be excited about. And to have people come here and find something negative to say about it just is, you wonder why people don't take YouTubers seriously? This is why. This is exactly why nobody takes you seriously. People say, what are we going to do to stop DC this or stop DC that? You can't even get your mind out of the gutters for 5 seconds to even figure out what a problem is. But nevertheless, congratulations, Merritt Island. Congratulations, Space Coast. Congratulations, Governor DeSantis. This was a huge coup. This is a huge win. That's why they're burying it. That's why you won't see this covered anywhere on the mainstream media. But this is a major global announcement. The largest in the world. Just decided of all the places that they could go, they came to Florida. And the technology is absolutely amazing. The infrastructure that's going to come because of them, the amount of investment that's going to come because of them and different support businesses around them. I'm going to say it right now. In the next 5 to 10 years, Florida is going to blow by Texas. It's going to blow by California. We won't, of course, have the square miles, but we're going to be the wealthiest and most productive and most powerful state in the union. And that's just the reality because everybody else is going the other direction and going fast. Thank you, and we know. I appreciate it. And one more time, and this is probably going to be the last time I say it, I'm just going to start blocking people. I don't know who Mike Adams, the health ranger, is. I'm sorry I sound like him. People say, Mike Adams, this, Mike. I don't know who the guy is. Literally never met him. I've looked online. I've seen his stuff. That's fine. That's fantastic. I'm not him. I'm not him. I don't know who the dude is. Seriously. Sometimes people have voices that sound the same, but I'm not him. In fact, I think he has appeared in many videos, and I have appeared in videos playing guitar. So all you got to do is go look at the videos of me playing guitar, and then go look at the videos of him where he appears, and just put the two and two together. It's not a hard thing to do, people. So anyway, I know it's not all of you, but just wanted to cover some things because it showed up in chat again. It's just insane. So anyway, just more good news coming out of the state of Florida, and a lot to be happy about, a lot to feel good about. And I know that's rare these days. There's so much bad news out there. People focusing on what's happening on La Palma. People focusing on, there's another earthquake in Crete today. There's the whole Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito thing. And then, there's just one bad news. This is great news. This is really good news. This is something you can point to and say, see, look, and did you see anybody wearing masks? Oh, by the way, did you see anybody wearing masks? No. You see, we got to get out of this funk. Not everything can be couched around what is DC doing to take away our freedoms today. When we stop talking about that stuff and it stops getting news worthy, meaning they're not going to be able to sell ads on content that talks about that, they're going to stop talking about it. We're coming into October and November. And here on YouTube and everywhere else, these are the big ad spend months. And I know this is kind of inside baseball, but it's important that you guys know this. Going into the Christmas holiday, these 2 months, October and November, end of September, all of the big advertisers, and read, that's who runs YouTube, that's who runs Google, that's where they make their money, Facebook, everywhere else, they're going to start making some very serious decisions about where they're going to put their money. Alberta Skies, you missed it. What's happening? The largest satellite manufacturer in the world, Alberta Skies, has decided to set up operations here in the state of Florida, bringing 2,000 brand new jobs with an average pay of $84,000 a year, building a 600,000 square foot plus facility. It's huge news. And the reason they cited was the pro-business environment that has been created by our governor. And that's the reason. For those of you who want to know, Merritt Island is right down here, southern part of what they call the Space Coast. Like here's Cocoa right here. Here's Patrick Air Force Base. Cape Canaveral up here. Merritt Island is right here. Yeah, 600,000 square foot facility is going to be huge. Absolutely huge. And that's the other thing too. People are moving here, yes, but people are moving here because there are jobs here, and not just, barback and waitress and washing dishes. Real jobs, the jobs of the future. There's this talk about the current losers in DC wanting to disband the Space Force. You can forget that now. You can totally forget that. The entire dynamic, and this is a much larger thing to look at, of power in this country has shifted. It used to be New York, DC, New Jersey up here. After 2020, it has all come to Florida. It has all come to Florida. Our economy, they're talking about right now up in the Midwest about beginning their economic recovery. In literally October of 2021, Florida began its economic recovery in April of 2020. And this is not lost on those who are looking at where the money is. Because money begets other money, and rising tide lifts all boats. Meaning the more people that come to Florida, and the more jobs there are, the more people have money to spend on things. And even if inflation goes up and things are more expensive, Florida will be able to weather the storm. Where I'm hearing stories in California and Nevada and Arizona where they have empty grocery store shelves. Because if you have to think about it, and Philo, Bobcat, 3-4, I mean, whatever, it's all bankrupt. You're full of shit. You don't live here, so you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, so just take your bullshit elsewhere. Florida is many things, but it is not bankrupt. There are plenty. We have $10 billion in reserve right now. Our government has $10 billion in reserve. That's why we're able to buy our own monoclonal antibodies. We don't need it handed to us free from the federal government. So, I mean, well, go ahead and stay under your rock, but just go away from here, Philo. Go crawl under your rock, grab your AR-15, grab your Mountain House beans, dried beans, and go dig a hole under a rock and stay there and wait for Jesus to come save you. Meanwhile, the rest of us here in Florida and in a few other locations, we're going to go forward. We're going to go forward, and we're going to move into the future. And DC and New York can rot. And Detroit and Chicago can rot, and LA can rot. Speaking of, and this is what I guess I'll leave with before I probably get too testy with people. This whole thing with the whole Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie, they're going to find this guy in a homeless camp somewhere. Out west, mark my words. That's where they're going to find this guy. Because when criminals flee, where do they go? He's clearly a criminal. He clearly has something to do with the death of that girl. So you've got to get out of the South because we're a law and order area. So I guarantee he's out of the South, and I'm betting, based on a lot of his behaviors before, he's gone out west, stopped in Colorado to refill himself on the illegal drug, well, the legal drugs out there, that he's addicted to, and then he's going to make his way to a homeless camp someplace in California. That's where they're going to find this guy, one of these giant criminally infested tent cities that are just prevalent in the collapsed states. First I thought maybe north, but that's not really his MO. He's got more experience out west. They're going to find him, hold up. He's going to have probably a face full of hair. He's not going to look anything like the pictures. They're going to find him in some giant, huge homeless encampment, if they find him at all. So, anyway, that's my prediction for if they find this guy. I guarantee he's long gone out of Florida. But Terran Orbital, they create nanosatellites. And It is just an amazing, amazing coup. This is not some little startup. This is a huge, huge company. Huge company. So, anyway, but just like it sounds, Terran, Terran, Orbital, Orbital. So, anyway, we will leave it there. But once again, Governor DeSantis does it again. God bless. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you guys a little later on.